everyone. Welcome to another edition of Beyond Baseball Shorts. I'm your host, Jared Perkins, and I'm here with an incredible guest who just came from the Arizona Fall League. Was an AFL All-Star, AFL Reliever of the Year, right-handed pitcher with the Tampa Bay Rays. Evan Reifert, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How's it going?
Good, good. I can't thank you enough for joining us. You kind of have an incredible journey to how you got into professional baseball. So, for the viewers who just don't know who you are, dive a little bit into your story and how you made your way to play for the Brewers, but then got traded and made your way to playing for the Rays.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely had an interesting way of coming up. I mean, obviously, I went junior college out of high school. I went to North Iowa Area Community College here in Iowa. Was there for 2 years. Then I went to UNC Chapel Hill. I was there for only a semester and got cut there. Then I transferred and went to Central Missouri, and that was in the COVID year of 2020.
Wow.
So yes, I only spent about 2.5 months there at Central Missouri before the season got canceled. Um, and then I went and played like 2 weeks of summer ball, just collegiate summer ball. Got picked up by the Brewers. I thought it was the right decision at the time, and again signed free agent with them in 20 with the 5 round draft. And yeah, I think the rest is kind of history. I got the opportunity there and just ran with it. So.
That's awesome. Talk about your playing days at junior college because I'm a guy who loves the guys who go to JUCO and kind of make their way to the show. Because everybody working, so in my side job, I work for a major league university and we work with a lot of high school kids, and a lot of them just like look at JUCO as this like thing that they don't want to do and go to. Talk about your experience with JUCO and some of the good times you had there.
Yeah, no, I think the times I had at JUCO were really good, actually. I mean, obviously, I think Nike was a really good choice for me. And again, I don't think it necessarily defined a lot of JUCOs that I've definitely heard of. I've heard goods and bads, but I really felt like I had a good experience there. I mean, obviously, um, I mean, it was very friendly. It was very like learning oriented.
Yeah.
Obviously, the opportunity was there as well. Like you were surrounded by a bunch of guys. I mean, I played with a bunch of guys who are like Division 1 bounce backs that, again, they deserve to play at any Division 1 as well. So, I mean, we had a ton of knowledge just bouncing around, and again, the culture was fantastic. I absolutely loved the junior college atmosphere. I thought it was great as far as like culture goes. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I talked about that when I worked at baseball operations for the University of Nevada. The community colleges there were almost as good enough to compete at the D1 level. So you'd go and watch those guys, and you're like, this team could beat like half the D1 schools out there.
Mhm.
um, so kind of as you go into this offseason this year, you just finished up the Arizona Fall League where you had a ton of success there. And we'll dive into that a little bit. But what's one thing you're looking forward to this offseason, whether it's with baseball or outside of baseball?
I think honestly, I'm really just looking forward to getting after it here in the weight room. I think
Yeah.
that's just a big thing of, again, it's so tough to keep up in season where, again, especially as a relief pitcher, you don't know which day you're throwing. So I think for me, really just getting back after it, being more consistent in the weight room this offseason, I'm really looking forward to. And then away from baseball, really looking. Hopefully, we'll get some colder weather here in Iowa, and maybe I'll get to go ice fishing. I'm really looking forward to going ice fishing this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm assuming you did ice fishing yesterday. Do you have a biggest catch that you've gotten while doing that?
Um, Nothing. I mean, I haven't caught anything really of good size here in Iowa. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I catch a lot of little dinky fish, but I mean, I love it though. I mean, just going out and sitting on a bucket, sitting on some frozen pond or lake, whatever it is. I mean, I absolutely love it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I can't complain.
Yeah, it gives you some time to relax, reflect, just chill. That's
Hmm.
awesome. Speaking of reflection, like going back to the Arizona Fall League, that's what for a lot of the viewers who know that league as well. It's where a lot of the top prospects go to play in the fall. Talking about your experience there, what was it like, kind of playing with a lot of those guys, or playing with them, but and against them at the same time?
Yeah, and I mean, it was a fantastic atmosphere, really. I mean, I knew going into it that the competition level was going to be unlike anything I'd seen, and I think that's exactly what I got was, just a bunch of guys who are, top 100 prospects or obviously, top 30 prospects in all their organizations. So I mean, it was a great opportunity just to see that level of competition and, you know, see where my stuff played against them. So it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And so what's one of the big things that you're looking forward to going into the 2023 season to build off of from last season in the fall league? Are there specific parts of your game that you're really excited about kind of really developing at that next level next year?
I think the biggest thing for me is just staying consistent with who I am as myself, and not straying away from the pitcher that I am. I feel
Mm.
like, again, the switch from the Brewers to the Rays, I felt like I hit some bumps along the way where I felt like I had to be somebody different, and again, it was just I think the biggest thing for me is just being consistent with who I am and just knowing my arsenal and how it plays, and I think that's exactly what I proved at the end of the year here in the fall league. I just pitched how I know I could pitch, and I think that's just the biggest thing moving forward is continuing to do that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things. Even when we work with a lot of the high school kids, what they go through is just like being confident with what you got and the stuff that you have, and just going out there and competing every single day. So as we kind of dive into the next thing, I want to talk about some of the passions that you have outside of the game. So outside of ice fishing, what are some of the things that you just love to do, whether it's during the season to get your mind off the game or during the off season?
Yeah, I think in season golf is a huge one for me. I think just going out on our off days on Mondays, it's just a huge relief after you go out, you play 6 days a week, and then you get to just for me it's golf and just going out with a bunch of guys on the team, and whether we're scrambling, whether we're playing our own balls, like it's just great to just get out there, move around a little, compete against each other, have some fun with it, and just being outside of baseball again, just giving yourself that break that you really need for playing 130, 140, 150 games a year. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a big toll. Um, but yeah, golf's a big one in season, and then obviously yeah, ice fishing big in the off season for me. I really enjoy that. Obviously, golf in the off season a little bit too
Hmm.
before it gets too cold here. And yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just a lot of inside activities. Otherwise, like video games are a big one, just to kind of get the mind off of things. And I actually went bowling last night with my best friend back home here, and we enjoy doing that. Pretty frequently as well. We get after that, and we're pretty competitive against each other, so it's a lot of fun.
What's your normal bowling score?
I think last night I probably averaged about 150. I mean, I shot anywhere from like 140 something to about 160, 170. So yeah, not too
Nice.
bad for not picking up in about a
Yeah,
year. So I mean, I'll take it. So
gotta get to the Mookie Betts level where you just go beat professionals in the off season.
he's unreal. So I mean, he's got to be one of the best
Yeah,
athletes on the planet. So
it's insane that watching him just go to tournaments that he hasn't bowled all year long playing baseball, then goes and beats these people. It's nuts.
hmm
So you talked about video games too. Do you have a favorite video game you go to?
I'm addicted to Modern Warfare 2 right now.
Mm,
I played that a little bit today before I went and worked out, and I just as much as it makes me want to rage every single time I play it, it's just I'm so addicted to it right now. So I kind of rotate between Modern Warfare 2 and Overwatch 2. The new one just came out here not too long ago. Um, those Fortnite, occasionally whenever I get some buddies and we can squad up, I usually play some Fortnite as well. But I mean, I'm awful at building, so it doesn't go too well for me. But
yeah, yeah. I
um,
I played Call of Duty way back in the day during the college days, and it's
mhm.
it's fun, but then you just all of a sudden you're angry for no reason.
Yeah, it definitely gets the blood pressure up. That's for sure. So.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap into the last couple of questions, I always have to ask, what's one of the go-to restaurants for you when you get back home that you're like, I have to have this food?
So we've got a really good pizza place back here.
Mm,
It's probably about 40 minutes away from me, which it really isn't too far. I mean, I'm from a small town, so I mean, really we have to commute pretty much anywhere to probably at least 15, 20-ish minutes to get anywhere. So 40 minutes isn't too bad. But this place called Harris Pizza.
mm.
So it's pretty much only known in the Quad Cities. So it's like the best pizza though. I love it. We had it for one of our Thanksgiving dinners here this last weekend, so it was really good. It was much needed.
That's awesome. Diving into the last two questions, we did a little Twitter poll and asked if anybody had any questions. So we got one fan question for you. So it says, as someone drafted out of a smaller school, do you feel as though player perceptions from coaches, staff, and even other teammates change when they learn that you're from a lesser known school?
Uh, I don't think so, really. I think
Yeah.
again, if you've got good stuff, I think everyone's just like, hey, like you're legit. And again, I mean, there's a bunch of guys that are drafted from small schools that are pretty high rounds. I think, as far as where you're drafted, I mean, there might be a little bit more hype to your name, but I don't think the size of the school really matters, to be honest. I
Yeah.
think again, I think my stuff compares to any other guy that would have went Division 1. I mean, or Division 2, Division 3, NAI, JUCO, whatever the case is. I think it doesn't really matter the size of the school. I think just matters of your stuff and your makeup in general. So
Yeah, I think that's a big thing too. Is what people don't realize about baseball is it doesn't matter what school you went to. Once you get to the pro ball, that everybody's kind of on the same level at that point. There's guys who are going to be better
hmm
than others, but when you get to that level, everybody's competing and everybody's good. It doesn't matter how far you make it in the minor leagues. Like you're still good at baseball when you're at that level.
yeah, 100%. So
So just wrapping up into the last question. So as you, we talk about the human side of the game, if you had one piece of advice for players who've kind of gone through the same journey as you had, went to community college level, trying to make it to the pros, what would be that one piece of advice that you have for them?
I think we touched on it earlier. I think just again being consistent with yourself
Hmm.
in general. I think that's what you've got to be in check with. Not trying to be somebody who you're not. I think it's just being true to yourself, being the player that you are, and I think going about your business the way you should go about your business is how you should do things. I think being fake and trying to
Yeah.
to fake it essentially is not going to get you very far. I think again, don't hide yourself and just be who you are and let that show out there on the field.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good thing to end on, just being true to who you are. And Evan, we can't thank you enough for joining us. We're wishing you the best of luck this year as you come into the next season. And just big congrats to everything that and all the success you had in the fall league.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.